Hello, basketball fans, and welcome to Briar Cliff University basketball. Tonight we have a non-conference matchup against Grandview University, a couple of teams from here in the state of Iowa. We have 4 minutes to go until national anthem and starters being announced. So let's take a look at the two teams we have here tonight. Briar Cliff, 7-5 on the season. They were receiving votes in the preseason polls, but they've stumbled a bit. After a 7-0 start, the Chargers have dropped 5 straight to sit at 7-5. They've been led by Jackson Lamb, an honorable mention All-American from a year ago. Jackson, also the Emil S. Liston Award winner for the top scholar athlete in the NAI basketball. So a great honor for Jackson that he was awarded entering the season, and he has done very well this season on the court, averaging 25.8 points per game. He started off with a bang here in the Newman Flanagan Center in another non-conference matchup as the Chargers, in a double overtime thriller, defeated another team from the good old state of Iowa, Graceland. It was a 116-112 final score as Jackson Lamb scored 49 in that contest. And again, right now he's averaging 25.8 points per game. So I guess starting the year with 49, he's just that average has just dropped significantly, as you would assume. For Grandview on the year, they sit at 3-7 overall. The Vikings have lost 4 straight games, so they as well, like Briar Cliff, a couple of teams looking to get into the win column first time in a while. Again, Briar Cliff on a 5-game losing streak. Grandview has lost 4 straight. The last win for the Chargers was it was the first GPAC game of the season, and it was a 3-pointer by Nick Hoyt at the buzzer to defeat Concordia of Nebraska 70-69. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, like I mentioned, they've lost 4 straight. Their last win was also on the road. It was a 66-58 victory against Culver Stockton in Missouri. So both teams looking to see if they can't get back to the winning ways. The Vikings are 1-5 in the Heart of America Conference. The Vikings, of course, an NAI Division I team compared to the Chargers, still competing at the D2 level of the NAI. Of course, that change is coming sooner rather than later, as the NAI will be moving to just one division for basketball, like the other sports around the NAI. I believe right now the basketball is the only sport still split up into a pair of divisions. As Grandview, if you're a Vikings fan following all your Grandview athletics, I'm sure you are getting very familiar with Sioux City. Grandview this last week, the Vikings volleyball team was playing at the Tyson Event Center as part of the NAIA Volleyball National Championships. A great season for the Vikings in that. And then the football team had a great contest where the Vikings fell just short on the road at Morningside College here in Sioux City, Iowa. So, like I said, the Grandview faithful, if you follow along, you've earned some points on your hotel card with Sioux City establishments, as the Vikings are here at the Newman Flanagan Center in Sioux City, Iowa, on the campus of Briar Cliff University, where we're less than a minute from national anthem and starters. I mentioned the top scorer for the Chargers. For Grandview, the top scorer this year is Drew Johnson. He's averaging 11.6 points per game. He's played in all 10 games, but only started in 6. He's really come on strong. Let's quickly go over the starters. Actually, we'll wait until the end of the national anthem, which is just about to take place. And as soon as that anthem is over and we're going over starters here on the floor, I'll go over starters with you at home. You're listening and watching to Briar Cliff Athletics on the Charger Sports Network. I'll be back momentarily as we're set for the national anthem here at the Newman Flanagan Center. right, and we're back after the national anthem. With finals week taking place, we went with the recorded national anthem. It's a little bit of a shame. This year has been the start of the Cliff Singers. The choir members for Briar Cliff University have been singing the national anthem more often than not, and that's awesome when we can get that, but not tonight. But let's quickly go over the starters. First for the visiting Vikings of Grandview. Number 3, Dallas Minders, a 6'2" junior guard from Walnut Grove, Missouri. Number 4, Drew Johnson, a 6-foot junior guard from Clive, Iowa. Number 23, Colton Kalowski, a 6'5" junior guard from Yorkville, Illinois. Number 24, Ryan Miller, a 5'11" sophomore guard from Walker, Iowa. And number 30, a 6-foot senior guard from Algona, Iowa. So 5 guards in the starting rotation for the Vikings. Briar Cliff going with 4 guards and a forward. They have number 5, Connor Groves, a 6'1" freshman from Sergeant Bluff, Iowa. Jaden Klein-Hesselink is next, a 6'2" sophomore from Sheldon, Iowa. Jackson Lamb, the 6'4" senior from Greenfield, Iowa. And the other guard is Nick Hoyt, a 5'11" freshman from Harrisburg, South Dakota. And the last starter, the forward, number 25, Austin Roteman, a 6'8" junior from Pocahontas, Iowa. A lot of Iowa guys in this matchup. Love to see these coaches recruiting the local talent, and Iowa has that by the handfuls. Just awesome to see. And even when you leave Iowa, it seems like these coaches aren't going to go far. We see a lot of Missouri and Kansas for Grandview. And then you look at Briar Cliff. I mean, what do we have? 3 from South Dakota, 1 from Nebraska, and all the rest from the home state of Iowa for the Chargers. As right now we are getting set for tip-off. Grandview in their black uniforms, black shorts, white numbers with red trim, with red and white trim down the sides of their unis. For Briar Cliff, their home whites, white tops, white shorts, blue numbers, gold trim. He's taking this tip off. It's going to be Colton Kalowski. He's listed as a guard, but come on, he's 6'5". That's a big dude, but athletic. As Briar Cliff takes the opening tip, Austin Roteman has it, gets it to Lamb. Lamb trying to drive in, nothing there. Kick it back to Roteman. Roteman's a forward, but he's not afraid to shoot from deep. As catch and shoot from Jackson Lamb, up, no good. Rebound going the other way with the Vikings. They get it to the corner. Johnson back over to Rash. Shots up, no good. That's a miss. Rebound to Lamb and the Chargers. We're scoreless here, 30 seconds into the contest. Briar Cliff with the basketball. Lob into Roteman. He's double teamed, has to try getting rid of it. Gets knocked out of bounds, but it'll stay with the Chargers. Our time clock not perfectly matched up with the scoreboard. Our apologies if it gets off here and there, but we'll try keeping it as close as we can up top. Jackson Lamb with the basketball. Goes up against his opponent. Partially tipped, blocked, no good. Rebound heading back the other way quickly with the Vikings. That layup, so that's going to be no good. And now up ahead, we got a track meet going on. 3-pointer up from Groves, off the back iron, no good. Team struggling here earlier to get a groove. We're scoreless as we cross the 1-minute mark out of the game. Grandview with the basketball. Johnson has it. Over to Kalowski. Now to Miller. Finally to Minders. Minders back up top to Rash. They're just going to go around the horn with it before Johnson has it. Kicked back up top. 3-pointer Kalowski. That's good. First points of the game for the visitors. Briar Cliff with the basketball. Kicked up to Groves. He thought about the quick 3. He'll resettle. Just dribbles it back and resets the play as head coach Mark Sfigera calls out what he wants his guys to do. Hoyt with the ball. Over to Klein-Hesselink. Lobbed into Roteman. 9 to shoot. Roteman spin move. And is going to be a foul or a travel. They're going to call the foul. Looked like some good defense on the back end by Ryan Miller. Trying to grab at that ball. They're going to say that he got the arm of Roteman. It's going to be an inbound as they reset the shot clock to 20. New rule in the NAI this year, along with NCAA, is on the offensive side of things with the foul there. They only reset the shot clock to 20 seconds instead of the full 30. Get some more possessions in the game. Briar Cliff with the basketball. Klein-Hesselink goes to drive. Left-handed layup. It's up and off the glass and in. Klein-Hesselink with the bucket. He's really stepped in with the injury to Ethan Friedel. Friedel has missed the last 3 contests, averaging 17.5 points per game. Klein-Hesselink has stepped it up as he's nearing double digits at 9.5 as this possession comes empty for the Vikings. Briar Cliff brings it back the other way. Another 3 missed by Jackson Lamb. Trying to get hot. He can be streaky, but he's missed his first couple here today. The Vikings get it inside. Stop there. Pull-up jumper, that's going to be no good. Rebound goes to Hoyt. Hoyt dribbles it up slow. We're 2.5 minutes into this game. Just 3-2 is the score. Vikings lead it. So these are a couple teams that can put up points in a hurry. Actually, Grandview, kind of a more defensive style team, and so far, Briar Cliff seeing the first-hand action of that. Jackson Lamb with it, kicks it outside. Open three-pointer from Groves, right corner. That's good. The freshman from Sergeant Bluff gives Briar Cliff its first lead of the game, 5-3 on the scoreboard. Grandview with the basketball. Rash has it. They're going to go around the horn. Left corner now to Minders. Gives it to Johnson, who fumbled it around, but he had possession. Now they'll give it to Kalowski. He shoots a three from the top, and he's got all 6 points for Grandview as the Vikings lead 6-5 here. 16:48 sitting on the clock first half. A little bit of a press. The Chargers were able to break it and get it up on the offensive side. Catch and shoot three for Jackson Lamb. There it is. Lamb hits his three. His first points of the game. And they're going to keep feeding the beast, live and die with the shooting of Jackson Lamb. And more often than not for the Chargers, that's going to bode well. Vikings come in. Good defense by Klein Hesselink, but a beautiful shot over the top by Ryan Miller for two, and that ties the game up at 8. Briar Cliff dribbles it up again. A slight press put on by the Vikings, but Briar Cliff doesn't show much issues getting it off. Catch and shoot, deep three from Connor Groves. In and out, no good. Nice touch there, but not able to get it to fall. And Grandview coming back the other way. Kalowski kicks it around. They go around the horn again. Now they'll go back up top to Johnson. Johnson with a three-pointer. Up no good over Rotman, who had him outmatched size-wise, but he got the shot off, but it's unable to fall. Briar Cliff with the rebound. We're tied at 8. Chargers with the basketball. Rotman gets it to Groves. Over to Hoyt, looking inside to Lamb. Nice catch. That looked like it was going to be too far in front of it, and he gets the layup and the foul. I don't know how he reached out and grabbed that one. Looked like pretty good defense for the Vikings, but Lamb corrals it in, gets the bucket and the foul. That's going to be the first foul on Landon Rash. And one of the top free throw shooters in the country puts the first one up and good. On the season for Jackson Lamb, he's shooting better than 90% from the free throw line as this shot's up and good for Grandview. Jackson Lamb is number 4 in the country with a 92.1% free throw shooting mark, and really the last game for the Chargers, he had to miss a free throw at the end of the game as they were down by 2 with a second to go, so they had to try getting a rebound off of it. Otherwise, that percentage could be slightly better. Three-pointer right corner from Groves that hit off the shot clock. It's going to be called out of bounds. Grandview basketball. Chargers leading this one 11-10, 15 minutes and 13 seconds, remaining in the first half. Grandview with the basketball. No subs yet to come. It looks like the Vikings might be bringing in the first set of replacements as we're 5 minutes into this game. Grandview just sitting around outside. Now a Kalowski, with the deep two. No good on that one. Rebound goes to the Chargers. Klein Hesselink has a wide open three. He puts it up. Nothing but net. Klein Hesselink with 5 points now in the game as the Chargers lead 14-10. Grandview slowly brings the ball up on offense. They get it to Kalowski, who gets called for the travel. Tried to pump fake his way and then getting around Rotman, but he gets called for the travel. Now entering the game, Ernest Docker, a 6'5 sophomore from Australia. So there's so much for the local ties that I talked about pregame. We do have someone, and then Jay Chen, a 6'1 junior from Taiwan. So I guess that's a little bit further than the South Dakota and Nebraska that we were looking at previously. Kick to the left corner, three-pointer, Klein Hesselink. He's up to 8 points as he drains that one from the corner. 17-10 Chargers. Chargers getting a nice little run here going, and another travel. That was Minders, who tried to get a little too fancy and gets called. So there's the turnover. A timeout now for Grandview as Briar Cliff getting some momentum with a 17-10 lead. Check what kind of run this is for the Chargers. Again, you're listening to the Charger Sports Network. Home or away, the Charger Sports Network keeps you connected to Charger athletics. With a few simple clicks, find links to watch or listen to your favorite BC teams. The Charger Sports Network, keeping you connected to the action. Yeah, looking quickly at it was 11-10. Grandview had a lead. Or excuse me, no, they're only at 10. It was 11-10, and then yeah, it's been 6 straight points for the Chargers in this one as Briar Cliff with the basketball on a 6-0 run. Seeing if they can extend this lead even further. Inside, Tony Bonner with the catch and layup. Nice bucket there from Bonner. Bonner, a 6'8" senior forward, Didn't have a ton of playing time for the Chargers, but as a senior, he's making an impact for this team. 19-10, Grandview trails with the basketball. Docker has it, gives it over to Rash. Rash for 3, off the back iron and glass, no good. Not the prettiest of shots there from the Vikings as Briar Cliff looks to continue to extend this lead inside to Bonner. Bonner backs down his opponent, goes outside to Groves. Groves drives the lane, puts this one off the glass and in, and it's a double-digit lead for the Chargers. 10 straight points for the blue and gold. Now a quick drive, tough layup, gets the bucket and the foul. Beautiful move there by Jay Chen. Just a little underhand floater up and in as a couple of subs will come into the game. Drew Johnson's going to check back in for the Vikings. Meanwhile, Jake Carley gets his first action for the Chargers as Chen heads to the free throw line. Chen, this one up, back iron, no good. But an offensive rebound, it was tipped back. Chen has it. And Grandview will keep the possession alive. Chen on the season averaging 4.5 points per game. He's got 2 here with a beautiful scoop shot on this possession as the missed free throw turned out all right for Grandview as they'll have opportunity for more. Trying to drive in, floater up and good. Landon Rash with the basket. He's up to 4 points in the contest as it's 21-14. Briar Cliff with the lead. Carley has it right corner. Steps inside, gives it to Klein Hesselink. Klein Hesselink tries to go around a screen. He'll kick it out to Carley. Carley drives in, up against the defender. No foul, misses the shot, but Carley gets his own rebound. And we'll just kick things back out to reset the offense. Carley over to Klein Hesselink, gets a screen from Lamb, lobs it into Bonner. A lot of contact, no foul, it's batted away and heading back for the Vikings. Grandview drives in, kicked out, faked the 3, now driving in his Rash. He'll pull up with the jumper, no good. Klein Hesselink with the board. 7-point lead for the Chargers. We're 8 minutes into the contest, nearing the 12-minute mark of the first half. Klein Hesselink lobbed over to Lamb. Lamb drives in, hands it to Bonner. Bonner deep cross-court pass to Groves. Groves drives in, pulls up, no good, just outside the paint. Gets a rebound, though, and puts that one in. Nice tip out by Bonner to allow Connor Groves to get that basketball as he makes the jumper and gets himself up to 7 points in the game. 7 points already for Groves. Groves averages 8 per game, so nearing his average. Is quickly a basket the other way. That's up and good from Ernest Docker. Briar Cliff leading 23-16, 11.5 minutes to play in the first half. Lamb trying to drive the baseline. He's cut off, so we'll kick it out to Carley. Carley drives in, kicks back out to Groves. Groves thought about the 3. He'll pull it up to Klein Hesselink, back to Groves, wanting that deep 3. Instead, he goes inside to Bonner. Bonner spin move around his defender. Beautiful move in the basket. Tony Bonner looking smooth here early for the Cliff. Back quickly the other way. This shot's up, no good. Might have been partially tipped. The Chargers coming back with it the other way. Lamb looked like he wanted to pull up and stop and pull for 3. Instead, he'll kick it to Carley on the drive. Carley puts it up, no good, in and out. And it looks like Bonner's going to get called for the shove, trying to get that offensive rebound. That's the second team foul on the Chargers. First on Bonner as he'll take a seat. Connor Groves is going to head to the bench along with Bonner. The replacements are going to be Nick Hoyt re-entering the game. And Andy Geelan stepping onto the floor. Geelan, his first action tonight. He has started 10 games for the Cliff, played in all 12, getting his first action here tonight. 25-16 is your score. The Chargers with the lead, Grandview with the basketball. Kick it out, drive the baseline. This one no good. Nice attempt there by Josh Streeters. The Chargers were hoping to draw a charge. No such luck, but the possession comes up empty for the Vikings anyway. Hoyt with it, catch and shoot 3-pointer. That's good. So smooth on that catch and shoot. We mentioned it earlier that the last win for the Chargers was because of a Three-pointer at the buzzer for Nick Hoyt, who had actually also hit a buzzer beater to end the first half as the Chargers won on the road at Concordia by 1. As this shot up, no good, rebounded by Klein Hesselink and Briar Cliff. Klein Hesselink drives in, spin move, knocked out of his arms though, but they're going to say that's a foul on the Vikings. They're going to call that one on Landon Rash. That was close. It looked like he caught quite a bit of ball, but they're going to say caught a little bit of the arm, as that's the second foul on Rash, so he's going to go take a seat. So it looks like Kulowski and Johnson are re-entering the game for Grandview. Slow night around the G-Pack, as this is a non-conference matchup for Briar Cliff. As this inbound goes too deep and it's grabbed and made back on the other end. Josh Streeter just outran Andy Gielen for that basketball, as Streeter gets the 2, narrows it back down to a 10-point margin in favor of the Cliff. As I mentioned, in the G-Pack, Briar Cliff on the men's side, the only team playing is Jackson Lamb hits a three-pointer. Jackson Lamb has a chance to become Briar Cliff's all-time leader in three-point contest this season if he stays at the pace that he's on currently. Grandview with the basketball, kicking it out, three-pointer the other way, up, no good. Lamb with the rebound. Not only is Lamb the top scorer for Briar Cliff, he also leads the Cliff in rebounds on the season. He's been doing it all. Last season he was an honorable mention All-American. This year he's looking to make it higher up that list. Is nicely defended. He got the 3 off, but it's no good. Back the other way. Grandview Chen thought about the 3. Instead he'll pull it back as they reset the offense. Chen has it. Again, looks like he wants that 3, but he gives it to Riley McCoy. McCoy steps in, shot from the left elbow, no good. Rebound, Andy Gielen. Chargers leading by 13 with the basketball. Klein Hesselink runs it to the corner. Goes back up top to Gielen. Gielen just looking at his options, gives it to Klein Hesselink. Klein Hesselink acted like he was going to go behind the screen, drives in, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Klein Hesselink. Good defense there by Streeter. He's coming into the game now. Ryan Miller's re-entering along with Connor Groves for the Chargers. 31-18 is your score. Briar Cliff with the lead. 8:43 on the clock here in half number 1. In a non-conference matchup, you have Briar Cliff, a team from the Great Plains Athletic Conference in the Division II ranks of the NAIA. Grandview, a Division I team from the Heart of America Conference. Streeter goes in. He's going to get called for an offensive foul, I thought, but no, they're going to say that there was movement by Gielen. Probably the right call, as Streeter kind of looked like he initiated the contact. Gielen was just kind of caught in no man's land, and that'll send Streeter to the free throw line. This is the first free throws that we've seen from Grandview. I don't remember any earlier. Oh, they did have one missed on an opportunity on an and one, so this is second free throw up and good. Second free throw of the game for Grandview. First one from Streeter's in. Streeter now at 3 points. Streeter, a 6'3" junior from Rockford, Illinois. I'm not great with geography, but I believe that's fairly close to the Iowa border. Maybe actually more down by the Illinois area. I think it's pretty close to St. Louis. As this one's up, no good from Jackson Lamb. Gets his own rebound, however, and floats that one in. Lamb doing his normal thing as he's up to 11 points, already in double figures in the game, and we still have 8 minutes to go in the half. Lamb had a great week last week as this shot's up and no good from Klein Hesselink. Unfortunately for Lamb, it wasn't enough as the Chargers had a pair of losses at home against a Northwestern team that's receiving votes in the NAIA D2 polls, and then a loss at Morningside here in Sioux City as the Mustangs ranked number 2 in the D2 ranks. Both these teams are a little bitter about the Mustangs right now, as on that day, Morningside defeated Grandview in football to earn a trip to the national championship game. And because of that football game, the basketball doubleheader against Briar Cliff got pushed back a little later in the day as the Chargers went in and unfortunately got swept by Morningside. As again, Morningside, their women's team ranked 8th in the country, and their men ranked number 2. The Mustang women actually lost at Grandview earlier this season. A lot of connections with Grandview this year, and the teams from Sioux City. I believe the Grandview volleyball team, again, I mentioned how they had played in the national tournament last week. believe it was a 5-setter that the Vikings were able to beat Briar Cliff on an early season tournament this year. As Jackson Lamb gets the pass, gets the nice basket off the glass and in. He's up to 13. Beautiful pass on that play. I believe it was Connor Groves, maybe Klein Hesselink that had that assist, as this shot's up, no good, rebounded by Groves and the Chargers. It's 35-21 is your score. Briar Cliff with the lead and the basketball. Jackson Lamb with it. He kicks it up to Groves. Groves thought about the three, drives up, gives it to Lamb. Lamb drives in, kicks it out, little off topic. If had that been on, it might have been a catch and shoot opportunity for Klein Hesselink. Hoyt, oh man, comes in on the backside and there was nobody with him. Lamb saw it, got him the basketball, and Hoyt hasn't had many shots easier than that. As Lamb trying to draw a charge gets called for the defensive foul. I think had he just avoided contact altogether, that might have been a turnover. But he was just a little late trying to slip in underneath the Grandview players. Jackson Lamb's going to take a seat as Jake Carley comes back in. Right now a comfortable lead for Briar Cliff, 37-21. Jackson Lamb, it's pretty common for him to play all 40 minutes, but right now Coach Marks Figuera trying to get him some well-deserved rest as this shot's no good, but an offensive rebound maybe for Grandview as there's a foul called in the corner. I believe that's going to go against Jake Carley. That's Carley's fifth team foul on the Chargers as Grandview will keep possession here. Dallas Minders coming back into the game. Streeter going to take a rest. Streeter coming out the bench has looked really impressive today. Streeter has started in 4 of the 10 games heading into today for Grandview. Averages 4 points per game. You can tell that young man has some ability. This shot up, I think it was a long 2, no good, but on another offensive rebound is Grandview keeping the possession alive. 3-pointer from the corner, that's no good. Looked like an offensive board, but that ball went off the shot clock, so that's going to be possession Briar Cliff. That's each team tonight on an offensive shot that missed has had the rebound shoot up and hit the shot clock. You don't see that a ton. Chargers with the basketball. Klein Hesselink with it. Steps around. Gets stopped. Who passes it. Ooh, dangerous passes. Kind of didn't have much on it, but Briar Cliff still with it. Klein Hesselink over to Carley, left corner. He gets stopped nicely there. That was Kolowski stepping in front, and a cutter is found again. Beautiful bounce pass got to Connor Groves in stride. Briar Cliff is smaller, but they're getting points in the paint on some beautiful passes as Drew Johnson connects with a 3-pointer on the other end quickly. That's his first points of the game. Johnson, again, the leading scorer, averaging 11.6 heading into tonight, but he gets his first 3 here as we're under 5.5 to play in the half. Nick Hoyt drives in. He'll kick it out to Klein Hesselink. Now over to Groves. Thought about the deep shot, and still he'll step back in, get it over to Klein Hesselink. Now to Roteman. Give the big man space, and Roteman can hit threes, that's for sure. He goes inside to Hoyt, juggles it, but kicks it out to Carley. Long floater for 3, no good. Rebound goes to Miller and the Vikings. Miller coming down quickly, gives it over to Kolowski. Tries to get fancy with the dribble, loses control, but is able to bat it back over to Miller, so the Vikings will still have it. Hand over to Kolowski. Kicked over to the corner, resetting now. They try to cut to the basket. Good defense by Hoyt to stop him, but they still have a shot attempt. This one's up, jiggles around, and Johnson's shot falls, and a whistle. As they're going to count the bucket, but they're going to call a foul on Grandview. They're going to call that one on Sterling Werner. Gets called for being a little too aggressive there, trying for the rebound. That didn't need to happen as the shot fell. I believe that's the 4th team foul on the Vikings. 39-26, Briar Cliff leads it. The Chargers with the basketball. Go inside to Roteman. Roteman gets called for the offensive foul as he tried to body up his defender and knocked Dallas Minders down to the floor. Nice job there by Minders. Minders has some size to him at 6'2", but Austin Roteman at 6'8" has got quite a bit of build on him. So credit Minders for being willing to get in there and take the contact and draw the foul. Vikings with the basketball, trailing by 13. We're nearing 4 minutes to play in the first half. This shot up and good. Nice move from Drew Johnson. Just like I said with Lamb, they took him a while to hit it, missed a few shots early, but once they hit one, watch out. These guys can get it going. Roteman trying to get it into Hoyt. There's going to be a foul called on that one. That's the 5th team foul on Grandview. See who they call this one on. That's going to go against Ryan Miller, as Jay Chen's going to step in for Millers. That's the second. Connor Groves to inbound for Briar Cliff. Wondering if Jackson Lamb, who's sitting with 13 points, is going to have an opportunity to come back in this half as the Chargers unable to get the ball inbounded in time, get whistled for the 5-second violation. It's still a double-digit lead for Briar Cliff, but you can tell the Grandview side of things getting some momentum as the three-pointer's up, no good. That's a big miss there. Had that gone in, I feel like it might have even drawn a timeout from Coach Marks Figuera. As again, the Vikings, they were down by as many as I remember, 16, trying to draw back in this one. Connor Groves, three-pointer left corner. Groves gives the home team some momentum back as he's up to 12 points in the game. That's his the second Charger player in double figures. As I mentioned, Jackson Lamb sitting on the bench with 13. Chen with it. Up to Minders. Minders looking for Kalowski. Lobs it over to him. Now back to Chen. Chen with the deep three, NBA range, but that's no good. And that's going to go all the way out of bounds in favor of the Chargers. Briar Cliff leads it 42-28, 3:10 on the clock in the first half. As the Cliff quick runs this one up to court. Nick Hoyt with the basketball. He'll get it to Roteman. Roteman has really picked it up lately on the scoring chart. Again, we mentioned the absence of Ethan Friedel with an injury. As Roteman has a three-pointer up, no good. That was Roteman's first shot attempt of the game. Looked like it was going to fall, but trickled out. As the Vikings have the ball. Minders with it. Looked like he was going to hand it to Chen. Instead, he goes inside to Kalowski. He'll kick it out to Johnson. Johnson back out to Kalowski. Three-pointer up, way off, but an offensive rebound. As they're going to stop, the shot clock got reset, and I think the official is going to say that the ball did not hit the rim. So they're going to drop it down to 9 seconds on the shot clock. 2:32 on the game clock, first half. 42-28 is your score. Briar Cliff leads Grandview in this one. As a spin move, shot up, no good. Rebound goes to Klein Hesslink and the Chargers. Jaden brings it up. Looked like he wanted to get Roteman the ball, but pretty good defense on the post player. So they'll just go around the horn to Hoyt. Carly back up with it. Now Roteman steps outside. He'll hand it to Klein Hesslink. Tries to go around Roteman. A lot of contact, and they're going to say there was a travel. Nice defense there. I believe that was Johnson. Drew Johnson got in front of Klein Hesselink, was not going to allow the room for him to drive to the hoop. And Klein Hesselink trying to get around him. Move the feet with the ball stuck in his hands. Grandview has it. Trying to see if they can't cut this down to single digits before half, as Kalowski got the ball and just took a couple steps before doing anything, as he might want to watch out as Carly went to take the ball to inbound and Kalowski ripped it away from him, and the ref came over to calm him down. Don't want to have a silly foul, as Will Johnson's come into the game for the first time here today. Streeter's going to come in for Kalowski, and I think that's a situation where the coaching staff is just trying to settle the big guy down. As a silly mistake by him to catch the ball and just take a couple steps without ever dribbling it. He didn't like the call from the officials, and it was apparent and very visible. So I think a great job there by Dennis Schaefer and the coaching staff for Grandview, just to make sure he didn't do anything to hurt his team more. Briar Cliff now with it. Klein Hesslink has it. Gets a screen set up. 6 to shoot. Roteman with it. Johnson now has it. 3 to shoot. He's going to have to do something. They go inside to Hoyt. And he gets it off just before the end of the shot clock, but it gets rebounded by Grandview initially, but grabbed away, and the Chargers now have it inside to Groves. Groves with a shot partially tipped by Streeter, but it somehow falls. Great possession there for Briar Cliff. That looked dead. 44-28, the Chargers lead. We near a minute to go in the half, and they're going to call that on the defense? Ooh, I thought Connor Groves did a great job of getting set in the lane as Streeter drove, but they're going to call that against Groves. That's the 7th team foul on Briar Cliff, and that'll send Streeter to the line for 2. So Streeter heads the line. They're saying it's not on the shot, so it's a 1-and-1 with it being the 7th team foul. I thought they had given the continuation, said it was on the shot, but instead we'll have a 1-and-1 opportunity as Streeter puts the first one up and good. Streeter now 2 for 3 from the charity stripe tonight. He's got 4 points in the game. Again, he averages right at 4 points, so he might surpass his scoring average here in the first half. Streeter puts this one up off the back iron, no good. Roteman goes up for the rebound, so he's not able to surpass his average, but sitting at it right now with a minute to go in the first half. 44-29 is the Briar Cliff lead. So this one goes to Groves. A lot of contact, no foul. Nice defense there by Streeter. And the Vikings bring it back quickly the other way. Looked like Jack Trudeau into the game for Grandview had it. Now he gives it, and that's his feet slid as Dallas Minders came shooting in. Tried to stop and pass it back to the outside, but the feet just kept on moving here in the Newman Flanagan Center on Ray Nackey Court. As Briar Cliff brings it up. This is the first meeting between these two schools since 2017 when Briar Cliff defeated Grandview in this building, 89-71. These teams go back a long ways in the NAIA history as Briar Cliff has the lead in the all-time series. 47 victories for the Cliff compared to just 15 for Grandview as Austin Roteman hits the three. Roteman's first points of the game from the outside. 47-29 is the Briar Cliff lead as Grandview will have an opportunity at the last shot of the half. Minders with it, gets a screen. He'll kick it to the outside. Johnson with the three-pointer. That's up and good. Briar Cliff quickly tries to get it in before the half expires, but it's tipped away and that'll go out of bounds. So we sit at the half. Briar Cliff leads it 47-32. We'll get you set for second half action shortly as we want to thank Square Tire, who is our halftime sponsor. Square Tire here in Sioux City. Great place. The name says Square Tire, but they do a whole lot more than that. And remember, if you're a Briar Cliff student, they have special deals for Charger students when it comes to oil changes at Square Tire. We want to thank them for their continued support. They're a big supporter of the Champions of Character initiative with Briar Cliff. I know we have our Champions of Character banquet at the end of every year, and typically Square Tire sends a representative. As we'll be back. If you're watching on the stream, the halftime performance is the men's dance team from North High School. We lead you with them. We'll come back with stats and get you set for second half of action here on the Charger Sports Network. Again, the score, 47-32 at the break. Briar Cliff leading Grandview. Hello, Charger fans and Viking fans. Let's quickly go over, as part of our Square Tire halftime, the stats from this first half of action. First, we'll go over the team stats for Grandview. The Vikings were 13 of 35 from the field for 37%, 4 of 13 on three-pointers for 31%, 2 of 5 from the free throw line for 40%. For Briar Cliff, the Chargers were 9 of 35 for 54% from the field, 8 of 18 from three-point range for 44%, and the Chargers connected on the only free throw attempt in the first half, so a perfect 1-for-1. Briar Cliff out-rebounded Grandview in the first half, 24-17. The Vikings did have a 4-3 edge on offensive rebounds, but Briar Cliff took advantage more with 4 second-chance points compared to 2 for the Vikings. Grandview got more off the bench with an 8-4 edge in bench scoring. Points in the paint. Briar Cliff with the lead there, 22-14, as we consistently saw great cutting action from the Chargers that led to some easy baskets. Points off of turnovers, 12-5 edge for Briar Cliff. And looking at those turnovers, Briar Cliff actually turned the ball over 7 times compared to 6 for Grandview. But just like the offensive rebound stat, the points off of the mistakes in favor of the Cliff. Briar Cliff with 14 assists, just 4 assists for Grandview. And again, we've been talking about it. The cutting action for Briar Cliff has led to some easy layups, great action, and that's why we have quite a bit of assists for Briar Cliff. Grandview hasn't been able to get that ball motion going quite as well, and they've just kind of had some players needing to make some space themselves. Now let's look at the individuals. Grandview being led by Drew Johnson, who midway through the first half didn't have any points, but caught fire there in the last 10 minutes of the half, as he's at 10 points on 4 of 9 shooting, 2 for 6 from three-point land. He also has 2 rebounds and 2 assists. 8 points for Colton Kalowski. He kind of kept things going early while others were struggling for Grandview. He hit a couple early threes, but then settled down to sit at 8 points at the half. Leading rebounder for Grandview is Ryan Miller with 5 boards. Top assist man, it was Drew Johnson and Dallas Minders with 2 assists each for all. That's only 4 assists for Grandview. I'm sure Coach Schaefer would like to see a few more assists tallied in the second half. For Briar Cliff, led by Connor Groves, 6 of 11 shooting from the field, 2 of 5 from three-point land. He's got 14 points to go along with 4 rebounds and an assist. 13 points from Jackson Lamb. He also has 4 rebounds and a pair of assists. He was 5 of 10 shooting, 2 of 5 from three-point land. Jaden Klein-Hesselink. Wow, is this accurate? This is crazy if it is. 8 points for Jaden on 3 of 4 shooting, 2 of 3 from three-point land. 10 rebounds for Jaden Klein-Hesselink. I would have to look, but I feel like that's got to be possibly a career high. And we're sitting in half number 1. That's impressive. Let me just look at his player highs, because I don't believe what I'm seeing looking at that stat sheet. He did have 10 rebounds against Dakota State. That is his season high at least. And I believe a career high as well. So Jaden Klein-Hesselink, if he gets a field goal here in the second half, he'll have a double-double. Just 2 points shy of it in the first half with 10 rebounds. He also has 3 assists. So Jaden Klein-Hesselink just doing a little bit of it all today for the Chargers. And again, that 8 points, that's only on 4 total shots. He's 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from three-point land. That's just great work right there. The top assist player for Briar Cliff, Nick Hoyt. He's got 5 points, 4 assists. So Nick Hoyt has the same number of assists as Grandview does as a team. So he's also having a solid performance here in the first half, as everything seems to be clicking for Briar Cliff. Again, these two teams both came in stumbling a little bit. 4 straight losses for Grandview, as the Vikings sit at 3-7 overall. Meanwhile, Briar Cliff started the year 7-0, looking like they might crawl into the top 25. Started the year receiving votes in the NAI Division II polls. And again, a 7-0 start. Everything seemed to be clicking. 5 straight losses for Briar Cliff, as things seem to be reeling. They're done with conference play until the calendar flips to 2020, but Briar Cliff is trying to right the ship with some non-conference games. Looking solid here tonight, and Briar Cliff will host the Holiday Classic on December 28th and 29th, a Saturday, Sunday just before New Year's. where I believe the Chargers will take on Waldorf and Presentation. A couple of teams that Briar Cliff should be favored in, but you just never know. And then after that, GPAC action will start right back up on the first Thursday in January when Briar Cliff will host Hastings. Hastings, of course, this year will be the team joining Briar Cliff at the Holiday Classic here in Sioux City. For years and years, it was just Morningside and Briar Cliff, men's and women's. Last year, it was Morningside's turn to host the event, and they only played the women's games. I believe Grandview was actually one of the teams. I believe it was Grandview and Haskell that came and took on the Mustangs and Chargers. So then this year, with it coming back to Briar Cliff as host, Coach Marks Figuera wanted the men's side of things to be a part of the Holiday Classic. So with Morningside stepping out of that event, Coach Figuera called one of his former colleagues. Figuera was a graduate assistant with Hastings back in the day before he became an assistant and eventually the head coach here at Briar Cliff. So Coach Figuera got a hold of the coaching staff at Hastings and said, hey, would you guys like to come and get used to the hoops at Newman Flanagan Center before you have to play us that first week of January? And Hastings decided they would gladly make the trip. So looking forward to that Holiday Classic. It's always a fun event. We like to thank Country Inn and Suites, who is the headlining sponsor for that event, as again it will be Morningside and Briar Cliff on the women's side of things, and then the Hastings and Briar Cliff men's teams will take part in the men's games. Briar Cliff, the men and women, will play at 5:30 and 7:30, though, that Saturday and Sunday, December 28th and 29th for you Charger fans. Make sure you click that. Also, I want to make sure all you Charger fans at home are aware that this Sunday is a non-conference game for the Briar Cliff women. They're taking on Dakota State. I believe that game was originally scheduled to be a 3 p.m. tip-off. It has moved to 6 o'clock at night. So you NFL fans like me can watch the noon games to their completion before heading to the Cliff and up here at the Newman Flanagan Center. I do want to thank a couple. That includes Buffalo Wild Wings, Domino's, State Farm Insurance, and Agent Stern Aiken, Pancheros, Delta Hotels, Sioux City, that's now officially the Marriott South Sioux City Riverfront. Need to update that. They just recently turned over with the new name. So the Marriott South Sioux City Riverfront, Absolute Screen Art, Pepsi Cola of Siouxland, Townhouse Pizza and Lounge, and Prime Bank. Again, we thank all those and our other sponsors for their support of Charger Athletics as we're sitting here as part of our Square Tire halftime. Briar Cliff leading this one 47-32 against the Vikings of Grandview. It's Briar Cliff looking to end a 5-game skid. Grandview hoping to turn things up in the second half and change their fate, as they do not want to hit that 5-game losing streak as well. As I'd like to thank our crew here helping us out with this broadcast on the Charger Sports Network. We got Alina running the camera and doing a great job tonight, and then updating your scoreboard on the cast tonight. Marcus sitting to my left. Marcus, a member of the men's soccer team here at Briar Cliff. Another sport that we've seen Grandview and Briar Cliff meet up. I won't ask Marcus specifically about that game, as you Vikings fans at home would be happy with the outcome of that one. An interesting game, to say the least, as let's just say the game did not end with 22 players on the field, and Grandview left Sioux City with a victory. An exciting game for the fans. But like I said, just slightly more exciting if you're a fan of Grandview for that one. As I love seeing these Iowa schools that are out of conference scheduling each other in games. At Briar Cliff, we have a lot of games. I mentioned the game against Graceland. In basketball, you might not see it quite as much with the division split over the last several years, but Briar Cliff still scheduling Division I Graceland, and here Division I Grandview, and of course Waldorf, another non-GPAC team in the NAIA that is fun to play. Clark, that goes back to the D1 ranks again, but I know Clark was here for a women's basketball game earlier this year, and I believe the next game for Briar Cliff might be a road contest against Clark. I think a week from tonight, the Chargers will take on the Pride in Dubuque. I just like to see these in-state rivalries. If you're a Grandview, you love seeing playing, the Northwesterns, the Dorts, the Morningsides, the GPAC teams that reign in Iowa. A lot of these coaches are stuck recruiting against each other, which just makes life difficult, I'm sure, as there's a lot of talent to go around, but you really want to get the top ones, that's for sure. As Briar Cliff finishing up, we're under a minute to go before we start second half of action. Would like to recognize the CNOS and the CNOS Foundation, as CNOS is the sports medicine provider for Briar Cliff University Athletics. The Briar Cliff athletic training staff consists of Seth Wallace, Kelsey Colfax, and Jess Sandbolt. And we have some great athletic trainers here at Briar Cliff. We really thank them for their time and energy keeping these athletes safe and healthy, as it looks like Seth might be the man here tonight working. I also see Phil Herkenhoff, Coach Herc as he's affectionately known here on the Cliff, the strength and conditioning coach, is in attendance. As down there, is that Nick Nelson watching, taking this game in? We have our former men's head coach, who Mark Sfigera was an assistant for, and most recently the athletic director up until March of this year, Nick Nelson, in the house, taking in some Briar Cliff athletics. This ball's going to be inbounded. The Chargers will start the second half with the basketball, leading 47-32. Austin Roteman catches on the outside. He'll get it over to Hoyt. Hoyt inside to Roteman. Goes up, gets the contact. Bucket's good, and the foul. Good start here from Roteman, as he'll head to the free throw line. Briar Cliff getting a free throw here to start this second half. Only had one shot from the charity stripe in the first half. They're going to match that total here 12 seconds into half number 2, as this one's up and good. Briar Cliff, one of the top free throw shooting teams in the country, and it helps when your big man can sink them like he just did. Briar Cliff actually the number 2 team in the NAI Division II, ranks in free throw shooting at 80.7% on the season, as this ball is going to be turned over by Grandview. Briar Cliff looking to extend that lead. Leading by 18 here are the Chargers. Jackson Lamb with the basketball. He's got 13 tonight. Roteman has it, gives it to Lamb. Lamb driving in, puts this one, scoop up, no good. Somehow didn't fall, and heading back quickly the other way with it are the Vikings. Lobbed over the top, another turnover by Grandview. This one at least might have been a little more forced than the last one, but 2 possessions into the second half, and Grandview has yet to take a shot, and that's going to draw a timeout from the Grandview bench. 50-32, Briar Cliff with the lead. 19 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the second half. Briar Cliff and the Charger Foundation would like to thank the following businesses for their support of Charger Athletics: Hy-Vee, the CNOS Foundation, Heartland Chiropractic Associates, Prime Bank, and Avery Brothers. Thank you for your ongoing commitment to Charger Athletics and Briar Cliff University. Should mention one more time as we're back to the second half that we do want to thank Square Tire, our premier halftime supporter. Square Tire, again, a great local business here in Siouxland. And I love the fact that they are committed to the Champions of Character initiative with Briar Cliff. They always come and present the Champions of Character awards that we give out to Charger athletes at the end of the year. As Roteman just bodies up his defenders, falling to the floor, and I want to check on that. That's Dallas Minders. Went down hard on the floor trying to get a charge. No call there by the officials as Roteman made the shot, and Briar Cliff now extends the lead up to 20 here early in the second half. Grandview with the basketball. Wonder if Minders might come out as they have a sub ready. This shot's up, partially blocked, I believe, and heading back the other way. The Chargers with it. Klein Hesselink, who I mentioned, 10 rebounds in the first half, has the ball now over to Hoyt, left corner. Roteman up top, looking for Klein Hesselink. Nothing there, so he'll get it to Groves. Lamb with it on the right side. He wants to shoot that three. He always wants to shoot that three. Instead, he'll drive into the paint, puts up the floater off the glass. No good. Great defense there by Grandview, and the Vikings have it going the other way. Quick drive in the paint, spin move. A lot of contact, and yeah, that's going to be a foul. That's going to be called against Hoyt. That's going to send Ryan Miller to the line. It's heading to the free throw line. Shots up and good. Our apologies if you're following our live stats online. So there seems to be an issue down at the scorers table with the stat computer. Briar Cliff now with it. Connor Groves has it. 18-point lead for the Cliff. Lamb up to Roteman. Ooh, Roteman had some space. He's normally going to take that three. Instead, he'll get it over to Hoyt. He'll catch and shoot the three. Front iron, no good. Rebound goes to the Vikings. Grandview brings the ball up court. The shot up, no good. Foul on the play. We'll send Grandview to the free throw line. 52-34 is the score. As it looks like the score is pulling through, the clock is not on our live stream. We will take a few minutes off with the audio as we work to fix that. My apologies, we'll be back momentarily, but we'll still have the video action for the game on the Charger Sports Network. And my apologies, fans. This is Kevin Potabom, Sports Information Director at Briar Cliff. Man of many hats. Had to go down and help out at the scorers table as there were some technical difficulties with the live stats, but it looks like we have everything back up and running for those of you following along on DAC stats. The live stats are pulling through just fine with the clock and all now. Love to see it. It's Briar Cliff leading 58-44. Pass over to Roteman. Roteman bodying up, waits for the defender's feet to come back down and gets the layup to fall. Briar Cliff now up 60-44. Roteman up to 14 points in the game, so he's picked it up as this shot up and dribbled around, and that's going to be an over the back there by Roteman as he looks over to question it, but I think if you designed a mock-up of what over in the back is, that fits the bill pretty well, as that's going to be the third foul on Roteman, so he's going to take a seat, and Tony Bonner's going to come into the game. It hurts to have Roteman's 14 points on the bench, but Bonner filled in really nicely early in the first half. He's 2 for 2 shooting. He's got 4 points as this one quickly goes up and in for the Vikings. Briar Cliff with the basketball, leading by 14. Have extended that lead up in the 20. I believe they got it up to 20 at one point, but Grandview trying to sneak back in this one as Hoyt's going to put up the three-pointer. Nothing but net. Hoyt gets his second three of the game. He's up to 8 points. As that lead goes up to 63-46 in favor of Briar Cliff. Kick to the side. Three-pointer up, no good from Kolowski. He hit his first couple of the day, but has struggled from deep since. Groves with it. NBA range three, in and out, no good, but Carley with the offensive rebound. Carley gets by his defender, tries to draw contact for a foul, no such luck. Klein Hesslink with it, who while I was down fixing the boards, did in fact get to his double-double as he's up to 10 points to go along with his 10 rebounds as Bonner gets a quick 2. Again, Klein Hesslink, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists as well. Nice day for the sophomore. Had a quick double check my notes to make sure sophomore was correct, because I'll tell you what, he has not been playing like a sophomore. He's been looking like an upperclassman. As a timeout called, as the scoreboard completely shuts off here in the Newman Flanagan Center. Not entirely sure why the shot, or the entire scoreboard has shut off. The ref is going up to talk to the scorer's table to see what's going on. As now comes the Lucky Duck Chuck, a favorite among Charger fans. Throughout the game, Blue Crew workers have been handing out rubber duckies across the gym, and everybody tries getting it the closest to the eye of the mascot pad. The mascot, of course, affectionately known as Bolt, so everyone tries to throw it to the Bolt's eye. Closest person wins a prize, as it looks like we do have a winner down there. I would like to say that my duck was sitting up against the pad, so a pretty good shot. Marcus, where was yours at? He overshot it. The soccer player has some strength in his arm as well, as he put a little too much on that one. As the scoreboard popping back up, and they're just manually trying to get the score back to everything where it's at. Hopefully they had what the clock was supposed to be at. The stat computer goes off of what the scoreboard says. We had it on our score. Good work by Marcus Horwood coming through in the clutch to let the officials know how much time should be on the clock. I knew we kept Marcus around for something. As they might want to check. Again, I want to thank all of our student workers and scorer's table workers here at Briar Cliff, who do a great job to, well, I would say allow everything to run smooth, but we just had our scoreboard shut off for a minute. So try their darndest to have everything run as smooth as possible. Let's put it that way. No, it's a lot of great work put in by individuals. And Briar Cliff is very appreciative of the work they do, as things kicking back off here. 65-46 is the score. Briar Cliff with the edge and the basketball. Bonner spins around. A lot of contact, no whistle as that one goes in and out. No good. Thought Kyle Haynes was going to get called for the defensive foul, but it's just great defense. That's what I always figure as a broadcaster. If I saw a lot of contact but they didn't whistle it, that's get away with anything, they'll let you. It's kick to the outside. Grandview trying to sneak back in this game. Kolowski with it. He can hit from deep if given the opportunity. Instead, they'll kick it around. Minders with it. Now over to Johnson. Johnson puts up a difficult shot. No good. Bonner with the rebound. Briar Cliff coming back down the other way with it. Klein Hesslink gets it to Bonner. Bonner, who just missed his first shot of the day. Carly over to Klein Hessling. Now to Hoyt. Haven't heard much from Lamb this half. He'll get the basketball. Goes over to Klein Hessling. Lobs it into Bonner, who kicks it, tries to kick it back out to Hoyt. It's tipped away, though, off the bottom of the backboard, not a bounce. Briar Cliff will still have it. Great defense there by Grandview. It looked like there was going to be an open three from the corner, but the Vikings were able to knock that one out of bounds. This one inbounded into Bonner. Over to Klein Hessling. He gives it to Lamb. Lamb wants Bonner, not there. Gets it knocked away from him, but he recrowls it in. Lobs it to Bonner, 3 to shoot. He puts it over the top of his defender, no good. Rebound goes to, I think, the shortest guy on the floor. Love to see that. Ryan Miller at 5'11", sneaks in there and gets the board. Now they go to Kalowski. He drives in, tough shot up, no good, but there's contact and the foul. It's going to be the second foul on Carly. It's Kalowski at the free throw line. He puts this one up and good. 7 for 10 now from the free throw line are the Vikings. Compare that to Briar Cliff. Just 2 free throws from the Chargers tonight, but they made both of them as that's a miss. So 4 misses from the line from Grandview. Carly now with it, drives inside, comes back out, gets it to Lamb. Goes through his hands, but he's able to run it down before crossing half court. Klein Hessling with it. Long pass over to Hoyt. Hoyt with a catch and shoot 3. No good, but it's tipped in by Jackson Lamb. Beautiful play there by the senior. Back the other way. They'll just step it back out, reset the offense, will the Vikings. Down by 20, with 11 and a half to go. Chen hands it off to a teammate, puts up the 3, and that's good. And that was, I believe they said it was Kyle Haynes. Yep, Kyle Haynes with the 3-pointer. That's his first 3 points of the contest. Bonner now with it, hands it to Klein Hessling. Klein Hessling back to Bonner. He's going to go inside through a double team, not able to get it, but gets an offensive rebound. No, it's corralled up, and that's going to be a tie-up in favor of Grandview. Nice try by Bonner to get that offensive board. But Haynes did a good job of getting his hands on it as Roteman's going to come back into the game for Bonner. Bonner started off making his first 3 shots of the game. Has struggled since as he has 3 misses in a row, but he's been doing pretty good nonetheless down low for the Cliff. Miller drives in, looks for the foul, doesn't get it, also misses the shot. Rebound goes to Lamb. Lamb races it up court. Goes around 3 defenders, not able to get the shot to fall, but it bounces around and Lamb corrals the rebound. Carly with it left corner. He'll give it back to Roteman. Roteman open for 3, puts it up, no good. As there's a foul as Jackson Lamb is not filling the stat sheet like he normally does this second half, but he's making something happen as there he gets the foul drawn. As it looked like Lamb was going to get another offensive rebound. Instead, it was a foul on Jack Trudeau. So Lamb making an impact without having to hit the shots from the outside. The only points he has in this half was a tip back after a missed shot by a Charger. Lamb goes in. Tough defense. He tips it around. Is this going to go? And possession will go to Grandview. There, I think Lamb had an open man in the corner. It was Nick Hoyt who's been hitting those 3s in the corner well, but Lamb just trying to do a little too much. As we mentioned, Klein Hessling with the double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds. I think Lamb might see if these stats refresh. They got it at 15 points, 9 rebounds on his line. Again, I'm waiting for a refresh on the stats. He might be up to a double-double as well as Grandview cuts it to 15 on the other side. We're midway through the second half. The Vikings trying to come back in this one. Lamb catches and shoots the deep 3, no good. Lamb just 6 for 17 shooting today. The percentage has not been great, but the impact has been there as this shot's no good from Streeter, in and out. Rebound goes to Klein Hessling as he's at a career-high 12 boards in this one. Klein Hessling drives in, he'll step it back out, goes inside to Roteman. Roteman spin moves, probably a travel there, and that's what it's going to be. So Briar Cliff, a couple empty possessions, but they've been able to hold strong defensively as Jackson Lamb's going to go take a seat and get a breather. Lamb is still sitting at 9 rebounds, so we'll see if he comes back on the floor here later and has a chance to make it 2 Chargers with double-doubles. As there are 4 Briar Cliff players in double-figure scoring. Lamb's 15 leads the team, 14 each from Austin Roteman and Connor Groves, and 10 from Jaden Klein-Hesselink. As a three-pointer from Chen is no good. Rebound goes to Nick Hoyt. Hoyt's up to 8 points, so he could be the 5th player in double figures if he can make a field goal. Groves gets it to Hoyt. Hoyt looking into Roteman, gets it into him. He's still a bit away from it. See if he backs him down. No, he goes into Carley. It's tipped around, back out to Roteman. Cross-court pass to Groves. He catches it, but he's got Chen right in his face. Groves draws in, pulls this one up, in and out, no good. How did that not fall? That ball was halfway down before it shot back out. Streeter the other way. Little Euro step, knocked away though, and in the arms of Nick Hoyt. Hoyt brings it back the other way. The Chargers lead by 15 with the basketball. 8:40 to go. Wide open 3 in the corner from Connor Groves, and yeah, he's going to make that one more often than not, as there was nobody in the same zip code as the freshman. And he's up to a team-high 17 points. The shot no good from Grandview. Hoyt with another rebound. He's slowly starting to corral his stat line. As Jaden Klein-Hesslink's going to call a timeout. The Chargers take a full timeout, leading at 70-52. 8:19 left on the clock in this one. The Charger Sports Network at bcuchargers.com is your connection to the action with links to live video, audio, and stats. A big thanks to our Charger Sports Network sponsors, Heartland Chiropractic, Fibercom, Sports Clips, Great Southern Bank, Sioux Body Shop, Boone Brothers Roofing, Mercy Medical Center, Northeast Nebraska Insurance Company, Townhouse Pizza and Lounge, Bob Rose Point After, Bob Rose North End Zone, and West Side Pizza. Also want to mention to you Charger fans, if you're in Sioux City watching the game, remember that since it is Charger game day, be sure to stop for our post-game sponsor, One-Eyed Jack's. One-Eyed Jack's, located near campus on Hamilton Boulevard, does offer half-price appetizers on Charger game day. I know personally I'm a big fan of the fried pickles. They use the pickle spears for their fried pickles, and might be the best ranch in town. That's always a key component to some good appetizers. Of course, if you want to look at your entree and not just the half-price apps on Charger Game Day, if you go to One-Eyed Jack's, I'm also a big supporter of the Cackle Burger. I think it's one of the best burgers in town, and I always like to refer to the fact that it's got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as it's got the fried egg on the burger patty, as well as some peanut butter and jelly. It is. I know the first time I heard it, I thought that sounded like the craziest thing in the world, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to try it, and I have dabbled in it a few times, that's for sure. Again, big thanks to One-Eyed Jack's and all of our other fine sponsors for helping us bring you Charger action on the Charger Sports Network. As we're back in action, Briar Cliff with it, 6 seconds to shoot. Klein-Hesselink looked like his feet slid, no call on the travel. He misses his shot anyway, and he'll go back the other way with Grandview. The Vikings quick pull it up. It's Landon Rash. He puts up his floater off the back iron. No good. Hoyt with the rebound. I believe that's the 4th rebound for Hoyt. As back the other side. 3-pointer from the corner. No good. Rash gets the rebound. Teams are scoring at will early in this contest. Things have slowed down here. Grandview on the season allows 79 points per game. Briar Cliff up to 70 with 7.5 minutes to go, as there's a foul called on this possession. And that's going to be called on Klein-Hesselink. That's his first foul. As Jay Chen will head to the free throw line. Jackson Lamb comes back in, again just needing 1 rebound to make it 2 Chargers with double-doubles. As Chen made that shot, so he gets the and 1. 3 points the old-fashioned way for Jay Chen, a junior from Taipei, Taiwan. Foul away from the ball here, is looks like a couple defenders are making sure Jackson Lamb couldn't get open, and there Josh Streeter's called for being a little too aggressive, trying to corral in the senior from Greenfield. Jackson gets it over to Nick Hoyt. Hoyt finds Roteman. Klein Hesselink in the corner now. Back to Hoyt, over to Groves. Lamb with it in the corner. Cross-court pass to Klein Hesselink. He drives in, kicks it out to Lamb. Lamb for three. Oh, no good. I just want to see the stat line for Klein Hesselink keep shooting up, so I was really hoping he could get that assist. And then, of course, Jackson Lamb. He's going to make more often than not with that look on a three-pointer, but unable to get that one. As Streeter lines up. Nice little shot from Streeter. Gets over his defender and in. Streeter's up to 8 points in the game. That's almost double his average of, I believe, 4.2. Hoyt drives in, kicks it out to Lamb. Lamb to Klein Hesselink. Klein Hesselink lobs it into Roteman. He goes up against the double team. There's a foul called. That's going to be the fourth team foul on Grandview. I don't think they're going to give that one on a shot, so it should just be an inbound play here for the Chargers. Shot clock gets reset to 20. First foul in the night for Riley McCoy, the junior from Ankeny, Iowa. Right now, Nick Hoyt, the only player on the floor for Briar Cliff not in double figures, as Jaden Klein Hesselink adds 3 more to his total. Big shot there. Klein Hesselink now at 13 points and 12 rebounds. Again, that 12 rebounds, a career high for the sophomore. Grandview with it, trailing 73-57. Streeter drives in, reverse layup, no good. Rebound goes to Klein Hesselink, so he's matched, his points and rebounds match at 13 each. As Groves tries to go inside to Lamb, it's stolen away by Streeter, who is kind of defended by his own teammate, but he kicks it out to an open three-pointer, no good. Fighting in for the rebound, but knocking it out of bounds was Riley McCoy. Great hustle play, but unable to get anything of it, as it's going to be Briar Cliff basketball. 5:45 to go here in the second half. 73-57, Briar Cliff with the lead. Just seems like the Chargers keep trying to see if they can't get it to that 20-point margin. And Grandview has tried to sneak back in, but cannot get it back to just a single-digit deficit. And, I mean, for Briar Cliff, if you can keep it at double digits, you feel a lot comfortable. If it gets down to just 9, you got to think Grandview can start using some of that momentum. They go around the horn to Hoyt from the corner. That one's off the back iron, no good. Rebound goes to McCoy. Grandview needing to push things, trailing double digits here late. McCoy gets stopped by Lamb, puts up the shot, and gets called for the travel. Great defense there by Jackson Lamb. As Andy Gielen's going to come back into the ball game, Roteman will take a seat for the Chargers. Meanwhile, Jack Trudeau heads to the bench for a breather, and Colton Kalowski back in for the Vikings. Jackson Lamb dribbles this one up, gets a screen from Gielen, uses it to go inside, gives it back to Andy. Andy will hand it off to Jaden Klein Hesselink. Klein Hesselink to Gielen. Gielen backing down his defender, kicks it back out to Groves, open from straight up top. That one in and out, no good. Briar Cliff has had a lot of great looks from three-point land that just haven't gone. As this one nearly stolen away, but the Vikings are going to corral in the possession. But still, time going off the clock as we're under 5 to play, and it's a 16-point Charger edge. McCoy goes for the layup, but it's denied by Jackson Lamb. Looks like Brad Pouch down there from Channel 4 KTIV here in Sioux City might have gotten a great view of that one. Check for that on the highlights tonight. It looked like a little football was in the area. Ref showing a good spiral pass over to the corner. Not sure where that came from. Grandview inbounding it, 14 to shoot. They're going to throw it all the way into the backcourt to reset this one. Kalowski has it. He's guarded by Gielen. Hand off to Johnson. Johnson gets that ball swatted away by Connor Groves, and it goes right into the hands of Jackson Lamb, who gives it back to Groves and gets the bucket. Beautiful play by those two. The senior in Lamb connects with the freshman from Sergeant Bluff, Connor Groves. As this one's stolen away again by the Chargers, and Groves with another easy layup. Groves pouring it on here as it's a 20-point lead for Briar Cliff with just 4 minutes to go. Not much time for the Vikings. They have to act quickly. Quick drive here. This one's up. No good from Kalowski, but he's fouled by Andy Geelan and will head to the free throw line for 2. There'll be 2 shots here for Kalowski, a 6'5" junior from Yorkville, Illinois. So this one's up and good. Brings it back to a 19-point edge for the Chargers. 21 points on the night for Connor Groves after a couple of steals and easy layups the other end. I say easy, but I got to tell you, if I was a betting man, I wouldn't expect mine to fall if I had the same looks. Jackson Lamb with it, goes inside to Klein Hesselink. Long pass over to Groves. Groves to Hoyt. Hoyt finds Klein Hesselink. He drives the baseline, goes for the layup, gets it to fall, and the foul. Klein Hesselink having himself a night. He's up to 15 points with a chance to make it 16 to go along with 13 rebounds and 3 assists. It's a beautiful drive of the baseline, and with the contact goes through it and makes that bucket as the free throw up and good. Briar Cliff is a perfect 3 for 3 on free throws tonight, all of which have been and one opportunities. Grandview now with the basketball. Needing a huge comeback here in this one as a quick long 2 from Kalowski. It's up and good. 80-60 is the score. 3:20 on the clock. Chargers just looking to wear down time on this one. Or Jackson Lamb will put up a quick 3 and drain it. Why not? The senior with the smooth shot on that one. Back the other way. Mishandled by Kalowski, but he's able to corral it back in before a Charger. Step back, James Harden-esque 3. That one no good. Rebound goes to Nick Hoyt. Hoyt all over the score sheet. He's not in double digits in anything, but he's got 8 points, 5 rebounds now, 6 assists. So doing a little bit of everything. Groves, corner 3. It's good. A substitution timeout for Briar Cliff as it looks like the teams are going to clear the benches. As with that 3, Lamb surpasses 20 points. He's up to 21. Let's see for the Chargers who's out on the floor right now. Will Johnson, who's been in already in this game. He's going to be joined by Quinn Vesey, Cody Hicks, Quentin Vassa, and who am I missing? We'll check on this one as the shot is up and good. That's going to be for Grandview. That's Connor Sonius. Briar Cliff, let's see, I had Cody Hicks. Here we go, Quinn Vesey with the ball now. Let everyone get the ball so I can catch up. Will Johnson with it. They go around the horn. Vassa kicks it back out. There he is, Thomas Hensley's the player I was missing. I apologize to Mr. and Mrs. Hensley if you're watching for the delay of calling out your son out there as this one's missed. Grandview comes back the other way. We're under 2 to play here. This shot up and good. That one's made by Riley McCoy. Lamb hit that 3. So they still have him at 18 points. Maybe I misspoke. I thought that got him up to 21. We'll have to see here momentarily, but he's not able to get that double-double as he's ended at 9 rebounds. So Jaden Klein Hesselink will have the lone double-double on the stats. Briar Cliff with the basketball looking to end out the clock on here. As this one's stolen away by the Vikings, lobbed up. It'll be an easy layup here, up and good by Connor Sonius. Sonius, a 6-foot senior from Britt, Iowa. Chargers now have it. They kick it out. Thought about the 3, instead it'll drive in. Kicked out, now a 3-point attempt up, and that one's gonna fall short. Was it tipped at all? No, it was not. There's a couple other bodies will be coming in. Carson Kruger and RJ Harris stepping onto the field. RJ Harris, you can also find him on the roster for the Briar Cliff football team. Some preseason injuries at the quarterback position had the team frantically searching for some bodies to get some reps in for the defense, and RJ Harris, a solid quarterback in high school, agreed to join the football team at least for fall practices. I think actually at one point he was possibly QB number 2 on the depth chart. I believe they had him in that 3 slot though. But once school year started up, he kept his focus back with basketball. Grandview with it, double team, knocks the ball away. The Chargers try to get it, but Grandview will keep possession. They put up the 3-pointer. That's up and good. Caleb Grizzle with the 3. As Briar Cliff will just slowly dribble this one out. And Briar Cliff is going to come away with a 15-point victory. 86-71 is your score. As I'll stay here for a few minutes and we'll go over it with our post-game. Again, our One-Eyed Jacks post-game report. We're going to take a quick break. I'll come back here in about 30 seconds or so to go over stats and to wrap up this one as Briar Cliff comes away with the victory, 86-71 here on the Charger Sports Network. Welcome back to the One-Eyed Jacks post-game report. We're going to have head coach Mark Svagera joining us here shortly as the Chargers came away with an 86-71 victory here tonight at the Newman Flanagan Center. Quickly go over some of the game statistics. Briar Cliff actually struggled a little bit in the second half. The Chargers were shooting well better than 50% from the field in the first half. Ended up dropping that percentage to 48% for the game, 35 of 73 from the field. 13 of 34 from three-point land for 38%. Chargers only had 3 free throws on the night, but they capitalized making all 3, and again, all 3 of which capped off three-point plays the old-fashioned way. For Grandview, 27 of 63 from the field for 43%, 8 of 24 for 33% on three-pointers, 9 of 14 on free throws, 64%. You know, Coach Schaefer would really like to see that number a little bit higher. They got to the line quite a bit with 14 tries, but to miss 5 of them can be frustrating. 4 rebounds, Briar Cliff out-rebounding Grandview 43-36, including an 8-6 edge in offensive boards. Briar Cliff typically struggles on the offensive side of things compared to opponents, but tonight it was a lot of hustle plays for those rebounds. Jackson Lamb getting in there a couple times. Jaden Klein-Hesselink rebounding dang near everything. The sophomore with a career-high 13 rebounds. That led all players in that category as the Chargers capitalized with 10-4 in the second chance point. So that's a really good stat for Briar Cliff. 8 offensive rebounds turning into 10 points. Really capitalizing on their opportunities there. Briar Cliff forced 13 turnovers, but turned it over 14 times themselves. But again, what it matters is what you do with them. Briar Cliff was able to take those 14 turnovers and turn that, excuse me for just a sec as I'm reading the stats off of the internet that just completely shut it down on me, but it was 21 points off of turnovers for Briar Cliff. Just a great job compared to 12 points off of the turnovers for Grandview. So again, 14 turnovers that Grandview caused, but only turned them into 12 points. Compared that to 13 caused turnovers for Briar Cliff to 21 points. Great job capitalizing there by the Chargers. Individually, leading it for Grandview, Drew Johnson with 18 points. He was 7 of 13 from the field. They also got double digits from Colton Kolowski with 16 points. 8 points on the night from Josh Streeter off the bench. Ryan Miller, the 5'11 Ryan Miller. Tonight, man, 5'11 Ryan Miller leads Grandview in rebounds with 8. Meanwhile, for Briar Cliff, Jaden Klein-Hesselink, who is also an undersized guard, he stands at 6'2", so a little bit taller, but not a big kid by any means. He was able to pull down 13 rebounds to go along with 16 points and 3 assists, so a double-double for Jaden. Great night. Connor Groves led the Chargers in scoring with 24 points. He also had 6 rebounds and 3 assists. Jackson Lamb just misses a double-double with 18 points, 9 rebounds. He also had 4 assists. The leader in assists for Briar Cliff was Nick Hoyt, who did it all, but kind of a jack-of-all-trades, master of none tonight with 8 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. Just helping out on the stat sheet everywhere. And Austin Roteman with 14 points. He had 3 rebounds and an assist as Marks Figuera making his way up to join us here as part of our One-Eyed Jacks post-game report. Coming off of the 86-71 victory here tonight. As Coach been struggling of late, but tonight, really, you got contributions across the board. What did you see from your guys here tonight?
Well, first and foremost, it's just good to get back on the winning track. You know, I feel like we've been really close to breaking through, and it's been one lull that's really hurt us the last few games. And tonight, I thought for the most part we avoided that. And, you know, just a night where Jackson Lamb didn't have it going like he sometimes can, to have some other guys step up was huge for us.
I don't know if when you looked at the stats at half you did the same thing I did, but Jaden Klein-Hesselink had 8 points and 10 rebounds at half. Did you think that was wrong?
Well, it stuck out at me because you don't see double-digit rebounds on the halftime stats very often, and he's a really good rebounder for a guard. I think he's second on our team in rebounding, and I think this is the second double-figure game he's had this year. He's just one of those guys, he has a knack to go get the ball. You know, Jay Wolf was like that. Jackson Lamb's like that a lot of times. And Jaden has that same quality.
And looking at it, the leading scorer tonight was Connor Groves, the freshman from Sergeant Bluff. What did you see from the young man, and how much growth have you seen this season?
Quite a bit. You know, he's grown a lot. He being a local kid, he was here with us all summer doing our workouts, and I think that really helped his confidence in the transition from high school to college, and all, not just basketball-wise, but just being comfortable with our older guys and our older guys being comfortable and confident in him because they saw how good he could be. And, you know, he can really score it. He did that for 3-4 years at Sergeant Bluff, and this is not the first big game he's had for us this year, and it's certainly not going to be the last over the next 3.5 years either. But, you know, it was great for him to hit a couple shots. He'd been struggling, you know, just missing some good looks lately, and to get him rolling again obviously is a great thing for us.
Looking at it, too, this thing that really jumps out at me is how many guys had a bunch of assists. I mean, we're talking Groves, Klein-Hesselink, Carly. They all had 3 assists. 4 assists from Lamb, 6 assists from Hoyt. And all those guys also seem to have pretty good rebound totals. Just talk about the ball movement tonight from your squad.
Well, that's something we've really been emphasizing. You know, when we've been in some of these lulls that have hurt us, it's usually been on the offensive end. And we've talked about just let's get the ball moving a little quicker, make a quicker decision on the catch. We don't want to hold the ball. We want to keep it moving, keep the defense on their toes. And when we do that, the driving lanes open up, the post touches to Roteman, Bonner, Lamb, whoever, that all opens up. But the best thing it does, it creates havoc on the defense, and it gives us closeouts, and that gives us drives, and that gives us kickouts, and that's what we really want to get in our offense.
All right, so now, you know, GPAC play has been done for 2019 for your team. A few more non-conference matchups left before we turn the calendar over and get back to conference play. What else are you looking to see from your team before heading back into the GPAC?
Well, you know, we've talked from the get-go, from day one of practice, we want to continue to get better throughout the season. And even in a couple of the losses we've had, there's been games where we've gotten better. Saturday was an example of that. We got better on Saturday. Didn't end up the way we wanted it to, but we played well enough to win that game. We just didn't. And so we have to continue with that mindset. And, right now it's being a little bit more efficient offensively. It's the biggest thing defensively is our transition games really hurt us, and it's been a work in progress. We have to get better at it. It's something we're working on every day, and we need to continue to make strides there. And, just getting guys comfortable with roles and shot selection. They've done a pretty good job. We can always be better. And, like tonight, I look at this stat sheet, and, Klein Hessling 16, Roteman 14, Groves 24, Lamb 18. That's a good balanced sheet, as opposed to trying to lean on Jackson for 40 or whatever he gave us a couple different times this year. That's hard. It's hard on him. And when other guys are hitting shots and we're getting other guys involved, especially early in games, I think that's huge for us. Tonight I think Jaden hitting a couple threes early was huge for us just across the board offensively.
Coach, you say you like that balance. As a sports information director, when I'm trying to get your guys nominated for Conference Player of the Week, sometimes it would help if it was a little top-heavy. This week I'm looking at it. I mean, who do I even put as someone as the Player of the Week for you guys this week when everybody did pretty well?
You know what? This might not be our week, Kevin.
All right.
That's okay.
Yeah, as long as we get W's, I think we're happy with
right.
that. Thanks for your time, Coach, and congrats on the win.
You bet. Thanks, Kevin.
Again, that was head coach Mark Sfigera as part of our One-Eyed Jack's Bar and Grill post-game report. Again, Charger fans, if you're in the area, make sure to head on to One-Eyed Jack's. That's where you can find me, that's for sure, as I'll be going for some half-price apps after a great Charger victory. Again, tonight's final score, 86-71 in favor of your Briar Cliff University Chargers over the Grandview Vikings from Des Moines, Iowa. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Charger Sports Network. And as always, battle on, blue and gold.